Hello guys, and welcome to another one of my Slenderman tutorials. In this tutorial, we won't be learning about effects or distortion, but something I believe should be touched on more, and that's how to properly execute a Slenderman series. I made a similar tutorial quite a long time ago about how to write a good Slenderman series, so I feel I should follow up on that tutorial by making another tutorial, albeit a tad late, on how to execute a Slenderman series well. There are certain aspects about a series that have to be taken into account and have to be planned well if you're to have a successful and popular series. I'm not talking about the story or writing though. We're pretty much done with writing at this point, and now we've got all the actors set and locations set, and we're ready to shoot. But before we can begin filming, there are certain things I feel should be taken into account in properly executing a good Slenderman series. So, without further ado, let's get started in learning these few things. Number 1. Get a reliable Slenderman actor. I can't fathom how many people have come up to me asking me how they could composite a Slenderman into a scene, or ask me to provide a picture of my Slenderman so they can composite it because apparently they have no actor for their series. Here's the thing, it's a Slenderman series. You can't have a Slenderman series without Slenderman. Some of you are probably saying right now, "You asshole! What if they're really passionate about doing a Slenderman series and are trying their best to get someone to play their Slenderman?" Well, then I would say that you're putting that passion in the wrong place. If you really want to do a Slenderman series, but you have no Slenderman, then you should do a horror series and perhaps choose a different creature, mythos, etc. that you can properly execute to base it upon. I know that it would be a pain to rewrite your series, but in the end, it will be worth it because you actually have a series that you can follow all the way through without having to worry about compositing and all that jazz. But if you have a Slenderman actor and he flicks on one day and you have to composite that day, well, then that's a whole different story. Number 2. Know your actors and your crew well. Before starting your series, you want to know your crew and the people actually making your series happen well enough. This will tell you if they're reliable, fit the roles you've created, and it'll keep production running smoothly. There's no reason to work with people you simply despise or can't stand. Knowing your actors well before commencing production is crucial because then you could tailor fit their role to their personality instead of fighting against it, thus saving any issues midway throughout the series. Of course, if your actors are friends or people you've known for a very long time, then this shouldn't be an issue. Number 3. Establish the feel of your series. Now, when I say feel, I don't mean the tone or mood of your story. I mean the actual visual and audio feel of it. The thing with a Slender series, or pretty much any movie that you see, is that you choose what the audience sees and hears. Slender series is not too different from a movie, the only difference being the camera work and audience interaction. There are many ways to create a visual feel for a series. One of them is frame rate. There are two popular frame rates, 24 frames per second, and more commonly in Slenderman series is 30 frames per second, or 29.976 if you want to get technical. Now, frame rate is what you would call what I would call the amount of visual data you get in a second. The main difference is how they look. 30 frames a second looks and feels fast, for a lack of a better explanation. 24 frames a second looks and feels slower. A way to observe this difference is to watch a movie where there's lots of movement for a while, then look at some movement in real life. Our human eyes see 30 frames per second, so to use 30 frames a second in your video or series will make certain events feel real. 24 frames a second, however, makes for a cinematic feel. It's more choppy and slow than 30, which gives your audience more time to observe and analyze each frame. So think about what you would want to employ in your series. Now, you don't have to stick to one frame rate throughout your whole series. You can use different ones for each of your episodes. And you also want to take into camera angles into account. Now, most series are handheld vlog style. That's a given. That just means you have to consider camera angles even more than usual. You're the one holding the camera. Again, it's you who controls what the audience sees. You can use low camera angles to help your Slender Man appear taller. You can use camera angles to draw attention to what you want the audience to see, and you can draw attention away from what you don't want them to see, and it helps to establish the feel of your series. You're the genius, so bless us with your intelligent filmmaking. Number 4. Use VFX and distortion to enhance the scare factor only. The point I want to get across here is don't rely on distortion or visual effects to make a certain part of your video scary. You're already doomed to fail. Don't walk onto set and tell yourself, I'll make it scary in post-production.
Wrong!
You want to focus on the practical side of the video, like special effects, to try and genuinely frighten or disturb the audience. Be creative and think thoroughly on how to pull off a good scare. Be original. Then if you need to, enhance the visual scare or distortion and visual effects. Now, if you're a good visual effects artist, then this could potentially be an exception, but it does not exempt you from planning out a good scare that you could pull off with visual effects. Always plan out or maybe improvise, but be a good improviser. Like I said in the last video, I would recommend watching some good scary movies to see how they pull off their scares. You could also ask for opinions and ideas. The Slenderman universe is a great community, and would love to help you out. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be making this video, would I? Number 5. Be prepared and be organized. Shooting a Slenderman series is, like I probably said a million times before, similar to shooting a movie. You need gear, equipment, props, supplies, condoms. Okay, maybe not that, but you need stuff. And nothing is more frustrating than showing up to your filming location, having your crew all riled up and excited to shoot, and what's that? You forgot the fake blood! Now how are you gonna film that episode? Well, maybe if you were prepared and organized, you wouldn't have run into this issue. Now the question at hand is, how do I become prepared and organized? Make a checklist of all essential things needed for your shoot. This helps immensely and creates good habits for you. Now, taking everything and throwing it into the trunk of your car isn't exactly 100% correct, but we're getting there. It also helps to organize your gear, props, and equipment. Sometimes you have to film something quickly and smoothly, like say you're filming a location you're not supposed to be in, and you need to film and leave ASAP. Well, if you're still digging to find that morph suit for your Slenderman, by the time you find it, here comes Old Man Jenkins with his shotgun, and he's pissed. So keep everything in a clear location is another good habit. Invest in some cheap containers if you must. Okay, now we're at the day of the shoot. You got everything you need, including your fake blood, and your morph suit is exactly where you put it, and your Slenderman actor is all ready, your crew is all ready, and oh, what's that? You're all thirsty and hungry. Too bad, we're filming. And then by that point, your Slenderman pulls out his shotgun, and he's pissed. Being prepared also means having essentials at hand. We're only human, except for old Slendy. We need water and food to stay alive, so this is an absolute necessity for filming. Your crew will greatly appreciate your care for their well-being, and this will increase morale by a lot. So be prepared, be organized, and don't forget that fake blood at home. Number 6. Plan an escape route. Your series could be going great and getting them views like Gangnam Style, but suddenly, KABOOM! Your Slenderman actor moves, your camera dies, your locations aren't working, etc. You tragically can't continue your series anymore and you have to end it, but you don't know how. This is why it helps to have an escape route planned. This was a fairly new topic on the non-fiction forums, so I thought I would include it in this video. You should have a kill switch, if you will, to end your series if need be. It really sucks not being able to continue your series, and that would be devastating. But if you can end your series in a well-executed manner, if such a thing should happen, then the audience probably wouldn't care and you maintain immersion and your reputation intact. For instance, I could have ended my series on the episode before the last one I posted, where my character basically goes plumb loco and shoots his camera. It wouldn't have been as satisfying to me, but I could have done it. I had an escape route plan. It really helps to set incremental escape routes to end your series when needed, rather than just stopping it and letting it fade away. The future isn't set in stone, so we just have to be prepared for what we get dished out at us. Number 7. Know and target your audience. I'm currently taking business courses in college, and we're learning about target market, the people that would want to buy your product. I had a thought, and I figured, why wouldn't this idea work for YouTube series or even Slenderman series? If you know who watches your series the most, then you could advertise and focus your attention, or their attention, on your series and be successful in terms of view counts and subscribers. There's a saying, aim small, miss small, which can be understood as if you aim for a certain group of people, you're less likely to miss and more likely to draw their attention. This means leaving out some people, of course, but some sacrifices are necessary for success. Now the question is, who watches my series? Well, you could go door to door, asking people, but that would likely result with you being sent to the loony bin. Instead, use YouTube Analytics. YouTube Analytics is very useful to finding out who watches your channel. You can find people by age and location. So maybe your viewers are UK teenagers, or maybe your viewers are US males between the age of 45 and 55. Creepy. Either way, use it to your advantage, and you're likely to be raking in viewers like the iPhone 5 attracts buyers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I believe a good Slenderman series is executed. I hope I helped some of you out and gave you insight on what you should do and what you've been doing right already. I'd really like to thank my wonderful and helpful girlfriend Rachel. She helped me with this tutorial and I greatly appreciate her very much. She is also a creator of the Slenderman series, The Abbey Diaries. I strongly recommend checking it out. It's well written and well executed, which is just what I've been talking about too. And I'd like to thank you all for watching. You're all very valuable to me. So once again, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.